If you spend most of your days sitting at a computer, you probably didn't plan it that way. It just happens slowly, almost without you noticing. One project, one game, one assignment, one video at a time. Until the chair beneath you became more familiar than your own bed and the glow of the monitor became your main source of light instead of the sun outside your window. And the strange thing is, from the outside it doesn't look dramatic. You're just on the PC, just grinding, just working, just gaming, but your body and mind know the truth long before you admit it, because they feel every hour that passes while you sit in the same position, stare at the same distance, breathe the same stale air, and ignore the signals that something is wrong. Think about a typical day. You wake up, maybe check your phone first, then migrate almost immediately to your computer. You tell yourself you'll sit just for a bit, maybe to finish some work or check a few things. But once the screen comes to life, your awareness of time starts to fade. You enter a tunnel where the only things that exist are the cursor, the chat box, the game, the code, the video, the timeline, the urgent emails, the blinking notifications, and as the hours pass, your body quietly pays the price for a life that looks still from the outside, but feels like chaos on the inside. Your posture probably changes without you even realizing it. At the beginning of the day, you might sit up straight, feet on the floor, shoulders back, but as you get tired and more absorbed, you slowly slide down into your chair. Your lower back moves away from the support. Your spine curves like a question mark. Your neck pushes forward toward the screen, and your shoulders come up toward your ears, carrying tension that has nothing to do with how heavy your head actually is and everything to do with stress and poor alignment. You hold this position for long stretches because your mind is glued to whatever is happening on the screen, and your muscles, which were designed for movement and variation, are forced to play statue for hours. They respond the only way they can, by getting stiff, sore, and weak. You might start to feel a dull ache between your shoulder blades, a burning sensation at the base of your neck, or a tightness in your lower back that shows up when you stand up after sitting for too long. And at first you shake it off, stretch for a few seconds, crack your neck, and sit right back down. But each day the discomfort returns a little sooner and stays a little longer, because your body is trying to tell you that humans were not built for all-day chair marathons. Your eyes are also pulled into this story. They are constantly fixed on a bright rectangle just a short distance away, shifting rapidly between windows, texts, and blinking icons, rarely blinking fully, rarely looking far into the distance. After a few hours, you might notice that your eyes feel dry, gritty, or tired. Maybe your vision seems slightly blurry when you look away from the screen. Maybe you get headaches that start behind your eyes and creep around your temples. But instead of that being a sign to step away, you reach for caffeine, rub your face, and keep going. Over time, this constant close-up focus can make it harder to relax your eyes when you are not at the computer. Your brain starts to think that normal vision means staring at glowing rectangles from less than an arm's length away, and everything else feels strangely far and unfocused. Your circulation takes a hit too, because when you sit in one place for long periods, especially if you cross your legs or tuck your feet under your chair, blood flow through your legs slows down. Your feet might feel cold, your legs heavy or numb, and in extreme cases, sitting too long for too many hours over many days can even increase the risk of more serious circulation problems. But you rarely think about that when you're mid-game or mid-deadline. You just tell yourself you'll move later, and later keeps moving further away. While your body stays frozen, your mind is working at a speed it cannot sustain forever, switching constantly between tasks, screens, conversations, content, and notifications. Even if you are physically motionless, mentally you are sprinting, juggling work and messages, deadlines and distractions, and that kind of mental multitasking generates its own kind of stress. Your stress doesn't always feel like panic. Sometimes it feels like a constant low-level pressure, sense that you must always be doing something, that every quiet moment should be filled by another tab, another video, another reply. You might notice that even when you take a break, you don't really rest. You just swap one screen for another, computer to phone, phone to tablet, scrolling social media, or watching clips in between tasks, and your nervous system never gets a true pause. As day turns into night, your room barely changes. The light outside shifts from bright to dim to dark. But your monitor's glow stays the same, and your brain, which depends on changes in light to know when it's time to be awake and when it's time to sleep, gets confused. You continue to feed it bright, artificial light and fast-paced content late into the night. So when you finally shut down your PC and lie in bed, your mind is still wide awake, replaying the images, sounds, and thoughts from the day. Perhaps you stare at the ceiling, tired but restless, or you keep your phone in your hand, telling yourself that you need to wind down with more content, and the hours tick by. Your sleep becomes shorter, lighter, less restorative, and you wake up the next day already drained, sitting back at the computer to repeat the cycle. Your mood starts to shift in ways that are easy to blame on other things. Maybe you notice that you feel more irritable, snapping quickly when someone disturbs you while you're on the PC. Or you feel strangely empty or low when you're away from the screen, like the world outside is too slow, too quiet, too boring compared to the bright, controlled world inside your monitor. You might lose interest in activities that require you to be away from your desk, turning down invitations to go outside or meet people because it feels like too much effort, or because you have things to do online. And slowly your social world shrinks from three-dimensional people to two-dimensional avatars and usernames. You may tell yourself that you're still connected because you're talking to people in chats, on calls, or in games, and those connections can be real and meaningful. But if they become your only form of interaction while your physical world becomes smaller and smaller, your mental health can take a quiet hit. Loneliness doesn't always look like being alone in an empty room. Sometimes it looks like being surrounded by online voices while your body sits untouched and unseen for days. Meanwhile, your habits around food and self-care may start to slip. Long sessions at the computer often mean quick, convenient meals, snacks, fast food, instant noodles, chips that you can eat with one hand while the other stays on the mouse or keyboard. You might skip proper meals, forget to drink water, or live mostly on caffeine and sugar to keep yourself going, telling yourself that you'll fix your diet later when things are less busy. Your body, however, feels the effects immediately. Energy spikes and crashes. Sluggish digestion, headaches from dehydration, a constant feeling of heaviness or bloat. And this physical discomfort blends with mental exhaustion until it's hard to separate. What is stress, and what is simply your body begging for better fuel and more movement? As the months go by, you may notice changes in your weight, in your strength, in your endurance. Walking up a flight of stairs might leave you more out of breath than it used to. Standing for long periods might make your back and knees ache sooner. And you might shrug it off as getting older even if you're still very young, not realizing that a big part of it comes from how much time you spend sitting still and staring at a screen every day. Your sense of time also becomes warped. When your life is dominated by the computer, your memories of days and weeks begin to blend together. One long sequence of similar screens, similar chair, similar lighting, different content. You remember what you watched, what you played, what you worked on, but you might struggle to remember the last time you felt the sun on your face in the middle of the day, the last time you walked without a destination, the last time your eyes focused on something more than an arm's length away. On top of all this, your identity can subtly attach itself to what you do at the computer. Your value becomes tied to your productivity, your rank in a game, your online presence, your output, your editing, your coding, your streaming. When the PC is off, you might feel strangely empty or useless, like you don't know what to do with yourself without a mouse in your hand or a keyboard under your fingers. And that can make stepping away from the screen feel uncomfortable or even scary, reinforcing the habit of staying there even longer. Yet for all of this, the computer itself is not the enemy. It's a tool, a powerful one, that allows you to work, create, connect, and play in ways no other generation could. But like any powerful tool, it has a cost if you never put it down. What really hurts you is not the machine. It's the imbalance, the hours of stillness without movement, the constant light without natural darkness, the endless mental noise without silence, the online interactions without enough offline grounding. The good news, hiding inside this difficult truth, is that you don't have to choose between using your computer and having a healthy body and mind. You don't have to quit everything, smash your PC, or run away from technology to save yourself. You can begin with small, realistic changes that fit your life. Standing up every hour to stretch, walking around the room or the house, looking out of a window at something far away for a minute to relax your eyes, setting a simple limit on how late you'll stay at the desk, placing a water bottle within reach and actually drinking from it, making at least one meal a day away from your screen, stepping outside for even 10 minutes to feel daylight on your skin, being honest with yourself about whether your time at the computer is serving your goals or just eating your life in tiny, invisible bites. At first, these breaks may feel annoying, like they're interrupting your flow, but if you give them a chance, your body will start to thank you. Your back will hurt a little less. Your eyes will burn a little less. Your sleep will deepen a little. Your mood will stabilize a bit, and your days will begin to feel like more than just a blur of blue light. What happens if you sit at the computer all day, every day, is that your world slowly shrinks to the size of your screen, and your body becomes a forgotten background process, struggling to keep you alive while you chase pixels and deadlines. But what happens if you start to treat your body as part of the main program instead of a silent server in the back room? Is that your life begins to balance again? You can still work, still game, still create, still connect online. But now from a body that moves, eyes that rest, lungs that breathe deeply, and a mind that remembers there is a whole world just beyond the edge of your monitor, waiting for you to look up.